Hello everybody, it's Max with Crypto Talk now. Luna Classic to 7 cents by 2023. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So as we can see, they've done some bold predictions, to say the very least, when it comes to Luna Classic. As you can see right here, the price prediction for 2022 has some indicators that are worthy to point out, to say the very least. Terra Luna Classic's price prediction for the remaining of this year shows this daily time frame. I'll zoom in a little bit more. So, for instance, we see this resistance line of 0.0001700, and of course the target is 0.2061543. And of course, it's just basically highlighting the areas of concern in order to possibly achieve some of this. Now, I get it. I'm not a fortune teller, and I will never claim to be one. But when I see things like that, it does at least bring my attention to find out why are they making some statements like this and how it can actually come into a realistic possibility here on the near horizon. I'll zoom out just a little bit more. The above chart of Terra Classic laid out a rounding bottom pattern. Basically see that right there. On top of that, the price movements form a pattern that resembles a bow and hence is also known as the saucer bottom pattern. In general, the rounding bottom pattern indicates a long-term price reversal. This pattern also emphasizes the changes in the market sentiment as the trend seems to shift from bearish to bullish. If you're still with me, there's more. Investors generally have to stay cautious and time the market well. The price breaks and moves past the resistance level, it will enter a confirmed bullish trajectory. Currently, Terra Luna Classic is at 0.00011657. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering if this is a recent publication, absolutely is. August 1st, 2040. I'm sorry, August 1st, 2022 at 2:40 p.m. We're going to go back down to where we were. And yes, if the pattern continues, the price of Luna Classic might reach the resistance level of 0.0017. On top of that, 0.2061543. If the trend reverses, then the price of Luna Classic may fall to 0.004646. These things are worthy to point out. Luna Classic support level and resistance level. The chart below shows the support and resistance levels for Terra Luna Classic. I'll zoom in a little bit more in regards to that. As we can see, the bottom support level shows 0.005051. The next step up from that is 0.0008018. From there, 0.0001073. And then looks like second to highest resistance level, 0.0001639. And of course, the highest is 0.0002416.5. Now, as we zoom out a little bit more, from the above daily time frame, we can clearly interpret the following as the resistance and support levels of Terra Luna Classic. Just in case you didn't see it, there it is for you again. Now, in regards to some of the breakdown of this, all right, mentions, of course, like what I just pointed out to you guys in these blocks. The charts show that Luna Classic has performed what is referred to as a bullish trend over the past month. If this trend continues, Luna Classic might run along with the bulls, overtaking its resistance level at 0.0002416.5. Accordingly, if the investors turn against the crypto, price of Luna Classic might plummet to almost 0.405051, which would be a bearish signal. And of course, we're always going to let you know about both sides of the spectrum. Like I just give you hopium. Terra Classic Luna Classic Price Prediction 2022, RVOL, MA, and RSI. So if you're wondering what RVOL is, it means the relative volume. And basically, of course, referring to Luna Classic is shown in the chart below chart. It is an indicator of how the current trading volume has changed over a period of time from the previous volume for traders. Currently, the RVOL of Luna Classic lies below the cutoff line, indicating very weak participants in the current trend. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit more in regards to that. Again, we just recently talked about the RVOL. There's a relative strength index, so on and so forth. Zoom back out. Moreover, the moving average, which is MA, of Terra Luna Classic is shown in the above chart. We see it again. I'm just trying to show you guys again, just in case you lose where you're at. Like it mentions, notably, the Luna Classic price lies above the 50 MA, which is short term. So it completely is in an upward trend. And it's just that. We see it outlined right here. Good things. On top of that, it basically mentions that currently Luna Classic is in a bullish state. There is a possibility of a reversal trend of Luna Classic at any time. Meanwhile, the relative strength index of Luna Classic is at a level of 5581. This means that Luna Classic is nearly in an overbought state. If the RSI level goes above 70, it will enter a complete overbought state. Hence, it might give confidence to the traders to trade without any fear. Now, going a little bit more into it. And by the way, some of these projections, I realize will get you hyped up, to say the least, but it's worthy to notate some of these possible predictions and see where the market is going and where it could very well, head to and possibly be achievable here on the near horizon. Again, I realize 7 cents is pretty bold, but even members of our own community, again, I'll give them a shout out, Michael Cornwell, a few months back in May, when the whole thing of the big Luna Classic or Terra crash happened, UST and so on, there was indicators to show that the math involved with all the burns and so on, that we could achieve 7 cents. Now you're starting to hear these type of things. And it's not just about like, oh, hey, we could, achieve 7 cents because, we did the math on it back then. You're now seeing the indicators that will back that statement up, some of those projections. So for instance, the price projection, or prediction, I should say, of 2022, the ADX and RVI, let us now look to average directional index, aka ADX, of Luna Classic. It helps to measure the overall strength of the trend. And of course, some of this is verbatim, I get it, but I feel like I really got to, not skip around too much, because you got to have a better idea of how this all works, to say the least. It's not really super in-depth analysis to the perspective where you're going to get lost with different indicators and so on. It's pretty, I would say for the most part, easy to follow. But if anything, like as you can see right here, where it mentions it helps to measure the overall strength of the trend. The indicator is the average of the expanding price range values. And like it mentions also, this system attempts to measure the strength of a price movement in the positive and negative directions using DMI indicators with ADX. We're just going to take a moment to basically see this. All right. And if anything, like I've always pointed out before, when we see anything that might indicate, for instance, pennants or anything in that regard, we like to point them out. Now, like it mentions, the above chart represents the ADX of Terra Luna Classic. Currently, Luna Classic lies in the range of 27.041, indicating a strong trend. And basically, we basically see that happening. On top of that, from the chart above, the relative volatility index, which is RVI of Luna Classic, The RVI measures the constant deviation of price changes over a period of time, like the outline. That would be the very bottom. RVI of Luna Classic lies above 50, indicating high volatility. In fact, Luna Classic's RSI is at 5581, thus confirming a potential sell signal. All right, moving a little bit more further. Again, trying to get more into the nitty gritty of all this, and not just trying to throw out a statement of 7 cents for no reason. Comparison of Luna Classic with the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum. The below chart shows a price comparison between between Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Luna Classic. I'll zoom in a little bit more. And of course, you see what's going on with ETH, Bitcoin in the white, and of course, Luna Classic. Right? And as we can see, there is no correlation whatsoever, which is good. All right. On top of that, like it mentions, again, like what I just said, no correlation between the price action of Luna Classic, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. Even though they seem somewhat similar, there is no correlation. Now, as far as the predictions, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Terra Luna Classic price prediction 2023. If the declining price action completely slows down in momentum and the trend reverses like we outlined earlier in this video, Luna Classic might probably attain 7 cents by 2023. That's just, I know it sounds nuts. I get it. A lot of things that need to happen. Market cap blowing up. But guys, we have a lot of things that are going into place already. The 1.2% burns. Heck, you even have the whole Luna T token. For instance, I mean, that's not as significant as with the 1.2% on the burns, in my humble opinion. But let's face it, it does help. And on top of it, like what we recently reported, yesterday we had news basically that broke out about the whole thing with Google, right? The Google Carbon thing. If you haven't seen the news in regards to that, you might want to check it out, because if anything, it's bringing utility back to Luna Classic. If anything, it's going to repair the ecosystem. Devs will want to come over because now you have potentially an easy way to create an ecosystem built on a whole new computer language, which is Google Carbon, which is set to hopefully replace the likes of C++ and C#. Again, look into it. We covered it yesterday. You'd be glad you did. Now, Luna Classic might probably attain 7 cents by 2023. Listen to this. We'll go even further. Price prediction for 2024. With several upgrades in the network and attainment of positive market sentiment, Terra Luna Classic might enter a bullish trajectory, like we pointed out, but again, this is for 2024. The coin grabs the attention of major investors. Luna Classic might rally to hit $1 by 2024. Are you kidding me? On top of that, Terra Luna Classic price prediction 2025. If you think about it, I mean, this is only like 2.5 years away, right? I mean, if you've been in crypto for a while, it's not a race. It's more like a marathon, right? It's not a get rich quick scheme. So, price prediction, Luna Classic 2025. Luna Classic sustains major resistance levels and continues to be recognized as a good investment option. Again, look at the phrase used here, as a good investment option. Notice by that time it's no longer labeled as a lottery ticket. I know a lot of us look at it like it's still currently a lottery ticket, but come on, let's face it. As these things are evolving with what's going on when it comes to a passionate community, to say the least, right? I'm now kind of getting off kilter here for a bit, but let's just reflect on something real quick. Look at the likes of, Elon, right? That particular project, ticker symbol Elon, as in Doge and Mars. They have no utility. But what do they have? They have a strong community, right? So when I saw the whole thing of them getting listed on crypto.com, I thought it was amazing. But again, it kind of reminds you of the likes of Doge. Still, there's no utility here. With Luna Classic, you have a passionate community. And if anything, now you're starting to see the things of like utility coming, like building up an ecosystem. So that statement of continues to be recognized as a good investment option instead of being labeled as a lottery ticket, let's face it, by then that could be very well true. Let's just be real about it. So, recognized as a good investment option among investors for the next 3 years. The classic rally could hit $1.60. I know, it's just it seems crazy, especially where it came from. You want to talk about the phoenix that rise from the ashes? Luna Classic should have got that logo that Terra 2.0 basically has, where it shows, the phoenix rising from the ashes. Because Luna Classic is the phoenix rising from the ashes, as far as I'm concerned. All right, 2026. If you're still with me, 2026. I know it sounds crazy. Terra Luna Classic sustains major resistance levels and continues to be recognized as a better investment option among investors for the next 4 years. Again, better investment option, not lottery ticket. For the next 4 years, Luna Classic could hit $2.50. Wow, sounds absolutely nuts. And for those of you guys who have accumulated millions, I know a few people, they got over 300 million of these things. Those guys are going to have the generational wealth, to say the least. And that doesn't even count other things that might be in your portfolio, like some of these ISO 222 coins/tokens. And by the way, by all means, check us out in regards to those. You want to learn more about that if you don't know about it already. All right, we're going to get a little bit more further into it. So if you're still with me, price prediction for 2027. Luna Classic sustains major resistance levels and regains its territory in the market in the next 5 years. Luna Classic would rally to hit 350. By 2028, for all the reasons labeled before, it might witness significant price rallies. Thus, 2028 Luna Classic could hit $4.70. And I get it, by the time we get to 2030, some people don't even want to hear this. All right, $8. I mean, that's insane. This is where I don't agree. Where I don't agree is the bottom part of the conclusion. Furthermore, with the advancements and upgrades in the Terra Classic ecosystem, again, remember, ecosystem. What do we currently see going on as we speak? Again, I refer you back to yesterday's breaking news video about what's going on with Google and Luna Classic. But when you see the timeline, things being mentioned like the ecosystem, right? You can kind of put 2 and 2 together. So again, furthermore, with the advancements and upgrades in the Terra Classic ecosystem, the performance of Terra Classic, aka Luna Classic, might hit 50 cents, gaining investors' attention. It would also rise above its all-time high of $119.18 in the near future. I don't agree with it. I'll just be honest, I don't agree with it. I don't think we'll ever get back to those insane price levels pre-crash, right? Before it was even called Luna Classic, back when it was just called Terra Luna. I'm being honest, I don't think that's realistic. You may have the attitude that none of this is realistic. But again, what are we going to refer to? We're going to refer to facts and trends, right? We're not just pulling stuff out of our you-know-what, right? Refer to this. How it doesn't have a direct correlation with Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? Then, on top of it, refer to some of this. It's outlined for you. This is not just pulling out data out of nowhere, out of thin air, and saying, oh, hey, check out the YouTube video because it's got a headline that says 7 cents. I mean, yeah, that helps, right? There's some of this, right? Again, some nice signals, nice indicators. Granted, this could go the other way. Pound it home a little bit more. Look at these levels of resistance. Look at the data. This is not made up data. So that's where we're going, right? Last but not least, this right here, rounding bottom. You cannot deny some of this. So the point is, if you know some of this, I'm not trying to get super technical here. I do like to point out like key highlights. But my thing is this, in closing, all right? It's just that. It's recognizing what the trends show and reacting based on that from an investor's point of view. Again, none of this is investment advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You choose to get this. You might be like, oh, this is just all hopium. This is a bunch of nonsense. It's still a lottery ticket. Hey, I get it. I totally get the skepticism, and rightfully so. But with that said, there is no denying some of the data. So, if anything, guys, I hope you got some good, useful information from this. Of course, come to your own conclusion. Let's face it, Luna Classic has extreme volatility. We get it. But the whole idea that the whole 7 cent mark statement that was used by, shout out again to Michael Cornwell, back in, what was it, May or early June, it's awesome to see that this is coming to a possible full possibility. 7 cents by 2023. Guys, I mean, we just got into August. We're about to enter into the fourth quarter by next month, September. We're about to enter September/October. But nonetheless, this year is almost coming to a close. So 2023 is going to be here sooner than you even think. And for it to even hit 7 cents, heck, what about even a penny, right? Everybody was shooting for a penny. So with that said, guys, I think a lot of this could very well happen. And if anything, it would be the comeback story for crypto. And it would initiate buyer confidence, to say the least. Combine that, of course, with a bull market. If you're not excited about Luna Classic, you should be. With that said, everybody, thanks for watching today's video on Luna Classic. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you want to hear bold predictions, but with people of our community who will actually back it up with the math, come join the live show. Crypto Talk Now, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. And then the Max and Larry Show, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. Thanks again for watching. Y'all have a blessed day. Like I mentioned before, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already. We'll see you on the next one.